G'day guys, it's your favourite host Holy Critic, and today I've got an exotic action spy thriller lined up for you. Now, I often select which movies to review based solely on the actors who star in them, and when it comes to that, Curacao instantly caught my attention. The combination of George C. Scott and William Petersen sounded like such a tantalising prospect that I simply had to watch. But there was one glaring problem I noticed right away. That being the title, Curacao, which is actually pronounced, let me try this, Curacao by the locals, because it's named after a tiny tropical island in which the movie is set. Makes sense. But for some reason, this was a major stumbling block for the production company, who have since revised it multiple times. It also goes by the title Deadly Currents, which is how I found it, and more recently, CIA Exiled, making it an absolute nightmare to obtain a copy. You have to wonder why they did this, but alas, I got there in the end. Thank God. Rant over. Anyway, so the movie starts with a bang when a mysterious explosion sinks a large cargo vessel. George C. Scott plays the captain, an only surviving crew member, Cornelius Wettering. It's a name that conjures up a story of its own, and he's got no shortage of tall tales to tell. Scott channels his best impression of Robert Shaw from Jaws as he captivates gullible tourists from behind the bar he now works. And that's where he strikes up a friendship with ex-CIA agent Stephen Guerin, who's played by William Petersen. Unbeknownst to Stephen, Cornelius is under investigation from American intelligence, who suspect his nefarious involvement in the earlier incident. He works off the books now as a security consultant, but it doesn't take long for him to be drawn in. His former lover Julia is sent to the island by the agency as a spy to surveil Cornelius's activities. This makes for some rich intrigues as Stephen reconnects with his old flame. But more importantly, the pieces of the puzzle slowly come together as Cornelius becomes entangled in a larger international conspiracy. There are many intricacies to the plot which will make it a delight for fans of espionage and not so much for everyone else. I probably fit into the latter of those two categories because I honestly found it difficult to follow at times. This is not a bad movie by any stretch of the imagination, and I may have to rewatch it again sometime in the future, but for now, I can only give it a final rating of 2.5 Halos out of 5. I'm just lucky I don't have to rent it out again like I would have had to do back in the days of video rental stores. And speaking of that, make sure you check out my latest rant on the downfall of Blockbuster Video and whether it was as great as our nostalgia would have us believe. Also, keep your weekend open because Brian Dennehy may be making a comeback on Saturday. Maybe. Until then, this is Holy Critic, signing out.